We're good?
Ready to go?
Let's go.
We're ready to go. Hey,
right.
Guys.
Episode 7.
Do I have to do the big numbers again and go 7?
Shane can count.
I can count.
It's the Christmas episode.
Can you tell? It's Christmas?
We are in the holiday spirit.
We are in the holiday spirit. Happy Halloween, brother.
Happy Halloween.
It's good. This is one of our favorite holidays.
Spooky.
Yeah, it's spooky. It's scary. I love getting out there, scaring some kids, doing some stuff.
Oh, you know I love that.
Yes.
That's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, John was telling me the other day that he does. He used to do the big haunted house in Revere, right? With a big deal.
Well, that was my wife. That was her thing, but I loved it.
Yeah, you spook out the kids and get them all scared. So
I love that people used to run out of the emergency exits.
Some were crying a little bit.
Yeah. I'm all about Halloween. I enjoy all the holidays, but Halloween is
it's one of my favorites.
Something special, as you can see.
Yeah, absolutely. We got skulls and axes and everything going on.
We got this guy over here.
Hey,
what's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on, buddy? How you doing, man? It looks great.
This is a non-smoking room.
Yeah. All right, now. Well, listen, episode 7. Here we are. We were off last week, but we're here this week, and we're making it happen here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Shane's already taken vacation time.
Already took vacation time. Had to go down and have some good soul food and good time with the family. It was great last week. So good to see you guys. We're back. So let's get right into some of the questions. You want to go into the questions, or what do you want to do here?
Let's get into the questions. Let's do it, man.
All right, so let's talk about 2 things from Denise Harley Girl wrote to us on the Facebook page where she talked about a discussion on sustainability and consistency when it comes to your weight loss and the journey that you're at right there. So how do you stay consistent and how can you do sustainability? How do you perform in the sustainability space?
The dog's crawling around down here. That's why we keep looking at our legs.
Yeah, I'm kind of spooked out. I got the skulls and I got little dogs like all around our legs. It's like, what's going on?
So sustainability and consistency. I know I preach all the time about sustainability. I won't do anything I learned over years of battling and dealing with weight and all that other stuff.
Right.
I won't do anything unless it's something I can do for the rest of my life. Like, if it's not sustainable, I just won't do it. So I've learned only because I've done the 30,000 steps a day. And I've done the all that crazy stuff. And I've done the stupid fad eating diets and all that stuff. But it's not sustainable. It's not something that you can do for the rest of your life. So now, if it's not sustainable, I just won't do it.
Right.
I can't. It's not realistic for me to get 35,000 steps a day on my Fitbit.
Right.
That's not something I can sustain. I tried to do it. I did it for a few weeks, and I burnt out. And I think my Fitbit's been in a drawer ever since.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I invited him a couple weeks ago. Hey, you want to come over? He's like, it is. So I'm in the same boat. For me, sustainability is something, but it doesn't necessarily have to be something grand and huge, though. For me, what the big thing for me for sustainability is around giving myself realistic goals. Okay, so for me, if I set the mountaintop of up here, like I got to go up to the way at the top and go lose 100 pounds or do crazy amounts of stuff like that or whatever, that alone in my mindset is something that's not sustainable for me. What I have to do is I got to break it down into small things, right? So if I got a mountain that I got to get to eventually that I'd like to, if I'm not breaking it down into small little chunks, I'm never going to I feel like I'm accomplishing anything, because then I'm looking at that mountain going, oh my God, dude, I can't get there. And it just it crashes down on me, and then I lose it.
It gets overwhelming.
It does.
So I posted something today on social media about pretty much like, don't let where you are today scare you away from where you want to be.
I loved it. I read that today.
That has a lot to do with the mountain, because for so long, and I think a lot of people probably have either dealt with it, or this might be you. I'm explaining exactly the way you are right now. Is we're so main goal oriented, focused, that like that mountain, you're just looking at the top of the mountain.
Right.
You're at the bottom and you're looking at the summit, and you're not even appreciating or looking at the climb up.
Right.
And that's the important thing, is that climb up. That's where you learn everything.
Yeah.
And if you just could skip to the summit, then what would that do for you?
Right. And along the way, at those little bits and pieces, I mean, we're deep right now, but I love it. As you're climbing and you're getting up towards the top of that mountain, however far you want to go, if you're not celebrating the small victories, Hey, Daisy, what's going on?
I had to pick her up. So this is Daisy.
Hi, Daisy. See Daisy?
She's 475,000 years old. We figured, since we have the skeletons out here, we might as well bring Daisy out. Because she's like a ghost.
Daisy is like a ghost. Daisy gives you blank stares.
She has one paw in the spirit world. So sorry, buddy.
Right.
We would, as you said, we were deep.
We were getting deep. Yeah, to pull us out of it a little bit. Yeah. No, but that's what I meant by the sustainability for me is I got to have victories. I have to have victories. I can't just live in the space of always grinding. I grind. I love it when we're grinding. But you got to have a moment where you got some temperature gauges, some barometer gauge to go like this. Oh, you know what? I'm actually doing a pretty good job, even though I don't feel like I am because that mountain's so high.
Yeah.
But I want to celebrate that for a moment to say, hey, you know what? Checks and balances here, man. I've done really, really well with this. I've learned the following things, and it'll set you up for that next little level or the next height that you want to go. You know?
So
matters.
When it comes to consistency, obviously routine. Like when I think of consistency, I think of a routine.
Yep.
When you have a routine and you get in this flow, I know for me, my routine, like routines are good.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes they can get boring and you can get stale and stuff like that, but routines work.
They do.
That's consistency right there. So, you know, maybe something about my routine would be like, I prepare my food on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's consistently. I consistently do that.
That's a great point.
It's part of my routine. I pack my lunch the night before. That's consistency. That's routine. All these things, you know, when that gets interrupted, things can get messy.
Right.
Maybe, you know, you were sick for a week and you weren't going and having your workouts.
Yeah.
Breaks your routine. It's not consistent. Sometimes it gets funky and it's hard to get back into it.
Yeah.
All these things really affect our mental state and our weight loss journey and our wellness journey.
And our wellness journey.
So,
yes. Well, so just for a great point is when I went to Virginia last week, I was in a consistent, I had a great, 2 weeks straight. I was going to the gym, I was going in there, I was working out. I went down there, spent time with family, none of the Anytime Fitness is around. I went for a couple walks or whatever, something like that, but I wasn't in the zone. So since I've been back, I've been like, oh man, how do I get back into that? 1 week is all it took, was to break me of that cycle.
Sure, yeah.
It matters, so it's crazy to me.
So staying consistent, and that kind of goes with the whole sustainability thing, because you can't be consistent if what you're doing isn't sustainable.
True.
So there's a reason why they have these like these diets, like these 30-day fixes, and stuff like that. Why the hell do you think it's for 30 days?
Right.
Because it's not sustainable.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
No,
like
I
you
agree.
can't live that every single day for the rest of your life.
It's true.
So if you want to make this a lifelong change, you need to find sustainable things that you can stay consistent with.
Yeah.
And it will really help you out.
I love it. It's setting realistic goals. Denise, hopefully that helped. I know that you're always engaged with us and talking to us, so appreciate the question from you on that one. She also put on there, one other question around that was, when you're going through consistency and sustainability, how do you plan for indulgences? So the stepping outside of your comfort zone or knowing that something's coming. Right, we got the holidays coming, we got candy coming, we got all kinds of great stuff coming here with the holidays. How do you plan for your indulgences?
So this brings me back. So in the last few years, I've met so many really awesome people on my weight loss journey. One of those people, I'm sure I quote him a lot, but Jonathan Streeter.
Yeah.
And he has this motto: no surprise food. I can't live that way.
No.
Man. I can't do it. I try, but like some people can. Like him, he won't do it. Like surprise food is unplanned food, like an unplanned meal.
Right.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
How do you deal with it?
Right.
I mean, he can easily, maybe not easily, but he can live his life.
He's a champ.
He can live his life and be like, no, I didn't plan for this meal or this surprise cake or you know, whatever it is. He's okay with it. I can't do it.
No.
So what do you do? How do you do it? You got to kind of just, I mean, I work it in.
Right.
You know, if you want to indulge a little bit, you know, hopefully it's worth it. 90% of the time it isn't.
Right, exactly. It's mental. It's mental.
You know, and you're like, man, that cupcake wasn't really what I remembered it being, and it wasn't really worth it to me. You know, so it's a lesson learned. But
there was a woman on Instagram today that posted this picture of this peanut butter pie. It was this huge slice, and it had like praline and peanut butter and cream on top. It looked incredible, right? And she said she took a picture of it and goes, I figured out the points of it. For her, calories wise and points, it was like 50 some odd points in one slice. She said, so my indulgence was I had a quarter of it. I took a quarter of it off because I wanted to curb that feeling that I needed at that time. She said it was great. It tasted great. But she, like you said, she incorporated it in. She said, I'm good to go. She took the rest and gave it away, did whatever. But that one little part of it that she was able to indulge and be able to enjoy it. Yeah. But she was smart when she was thinking that way. And it's not just with that kind of thing.
You know, but and that's smart and that's great that she can do that. But sometimes it's okay if you have the whole slice.
Agreed.
It's okay.
Yeah. And you got to be able to forgive yourself for that.
As long as sometimes it's better to do that than to just shut it down and then, 5 hours later, dive into the whole entire cake.
Right.
Because that's how you kind of work your way towards a binge.
I totally agree. Yep.
So it's almost like take a little bit of the poison.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like a flu shot.
Yep. I agree.
You know what I mean? You get injected with a little bit of the flu virus.
We're going to put a little bit of the back.
A little peanut butter praline in your veins. You know what I mean? Just curb that.
It's true though.
Right?
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I'm in the same boat. For me, I can't be told I can't have something. We've talked about this on previous podcasts and videocasts. I can't be told you will not have that, you cannot have that. Because then my brain kicks in to be in the fact of, you're going to tell me I can't have that? Yeah. So guess what? I'm going to want that even more. And then if I continue to go, I'm not going to have that, I'm going to, like John said, dive right into it to be in the fact of I'm swimming in it now.
I know through my own experiences that if I'm not going to have the cake, I'm not going to have the cake, I'm not going to have the cake. Even if it's not my house, and the cake's not in my fridge, I'll stop on the way home. Right. I'll go into the supermarket. I'll eat a goddamn cake in my truck. I've done it.
Yes.
I've done it. Not only have I done that, there was a point in my life where I was like, I don't know if I want pie or cake. I've eaten a whole pie and a cake.
Yeah.
In my truck.
Oh my God.
In a parking lot at a supermarket. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know.
So.
We've had those moments.
For me, the slice is better than that.
I agree, 100%. So. Yeah, I love it. It's good sharing.
But you might be like my friend Jonathan and just no surprise food. He can do that. He lives that's sustainable for him.
It is.
Yep. But it's not for me. We're all different.
We're all wired differently. So
I love that motto. I think it's great.
I wish that I could. I wish that I could. Yeah. To be honest with you,
maybe one day.
Maybe. Who knows? But right now, I'm not at that place just yet. Maybe I can get there and make smarter decisions and move that direction or whatever else that's there. So what's going on?
I thought she's like got something growing on her. I didn't know if it was a tick.
You had to do this.
I'm over here like a monkey. I'm like cleaning.
He's like
eating the bugs.
I have to get the monkeys. That's awesome. All right, so not a question, but a comment from Dominica. Dominica that was on there.
Oh, I know her.
You might know Dominica, this guy's beautiful wife. So here's the thing. She had a question of who gives out dots. She was making fun of the candy dots, right? She's saying those things, all they do is pull out your fillings. They're flavorless. So it sparked my interest of going, hey.
First of all, I know I like dots.
I'm not a fan of dots.
I like gummy.
They get stuck in your teeth so
bad. I love Swedish fish.
No way, man. I do like Swedish fish.
Same thing, same family.
I know, man, but the dots, man.
They get stuck.
They're really, you're literally.
You got your tongue back there like,
you're digging in your fingers, you're like, you're trying to get in there.
Are you an animal? I don't stick my fingers in my mouth.
But you just pick the bugs off your dog and you do things like a monkey. All right, so that sparks the question of, this is Halloween, we got lots of candies, we already talked about plans of how you stay away from eating all the candies, but if you had one candy that you, John, I'll tell you mine in a minute, one candy, if you were to list all the Halloween candies you have that are out there, what's your one favorite candy? For Halloween, we gotta do it, we gotta have fun with this. What's your one candy?
Alright, so I'm imagining going through my kid's bag right now.
Me too, yep. Which is a bad thing too.
So I'm closing my eyes and I see the bag.
Yep.
The first thing I'm going for, a Butterfinger.
Butterfingers are good.
I'm going for the Butterfinger.
Are good. Yeah. The small little mini-sized ones are like, hey man, I can have one of those. It's good. I'm gonna eat one of those.
Yeah, sure, Butterfinger. Unless the only thing that full-size Hershey bar. If there's a full-size Hershey bar, it's mine.
Just a regular plain chocolate Hershey bar, or just like
just like a plain old Hershey bar.
Nice.
Yeah, like Reese's peanut butter cups. I love Reese's. I love peanut butter.
I was gonna rate that pretty high.
But If I see the full-size Hershey bar, man, I'm going for it.
This is going to be weird when I say this. I'm a peanut butter guy. I love Reese's. Me too. But you know what my favorite thing in the world is when they'll get the little...
Whoppers.
I'm going to sound like an old man.
Whoppers.
No, not Whoppers. Whoppers are good.
You see?
But,
back in my day, red malted milk balls back in my day.
See? What are you talking about? So, no, I like Charleston Chews. Because I take a Charleston Chew and I put it in the freezer.
Man. Yeah.
And then you crunch it and it turns soft. Yeah. One of my favorite candies.
It is excellent. Yeah.
But they don't really give them away anymore. Like they're not filling the bags of Charleston Chews.
These kids don't get Charleston Chews.
You don't know any malted milk balls or Charleston Chews. What are you doing here? It's none of that stuff.
Oh my God! The Charleston Chew factory used to be down the street from my house.
Oh no way!
Yeah.
Oh,
it's now it's condos.
Oh, now they've flattened it for apartments.
Yeah.
Well, just like the Neckos, man. The Necco little wafer candies, man, in Massachusetts, those are going away too.
Yeah, that was in my town too.
Dude,
no wonder why I have a problem.
You seriously, you grew up on all kinds of great candies.
Yeah, across the street I got Charleston Chew. Behind me I got Necco wafers.
Back in my day,
Teddy peanut butter. It's all right there. What the hell?
All right, so that was it was a good one, man. We had to talk a little bit about our favorite
what
candies.
was it? Charleston Chew?
Charleston Chew, yeah. It's a toss between a Reese's Cup.
I'm going to go with the Butterfinger.
Because I do like Reese's Cups, man. Like,
yeah.
That's the one thing that I'll usually say to my son. Like, if he's got Reese's Cups in, I'm like, listen, take those up, put those off to the side, hide them somewhere. Because I'm going to eat every one of those things in about 3 seconds flat. So they got to go. Other ones, I'm okay. You know, I got some pretty good willpower. 2 Halloweens ago, I remember we had so much candy in the house. And I had so much, like, willpower at the time to go, I'm not eating any of this candy. Yeah. Then 3 days after Halloween was around, I literally had this one moment where you and I talked about eating when we're bored.
Yeah.
I literally just dove into it and started eating. I had wrappers laying around me like it was a crime scene.
It's the worst.
It was so bad.
It's the worst. It's like you put your hand in your hoodie and you're like, what the heck's in here? This is just a handful of empty wrappers. What did I do?
And then I'm trying to hide them. I'm like, oh man, I gotta hide these wrappers everywhere. And I open up the trash can and it's filled with all these wrappers too. I'm like, oh my God. Pretty bad stuff. All right. So next thing, let's see. Let's talk about Amy.44. She said she was giving some advice about how to give some advice to or for us to give others advice. I'd like you to talk to your listeners about showing themselves grace during the next couple months. October, November, where we got Thanksgiving, Christmas, where you got more food and all the, I mean, it's all centered around food. Everything from this point forward to the end of the year, even New Year's Eve, food everywhere, always all over the place. And about how maintaining or even small gains are big wins. How do you feel about that? So if you gain, do you think that that's a win in your minds? Or do you think of that as being like a man? You know what I mean? Like,
no, a gain is always an oh man.
Right.
It's never a win.
I know.
I mean,
does it depend on the size of the gain?
Right. But let me tell you this.
Right?
20 years ago, a gain was a win because I was trying to get big.
That's true.
I was like, I'm gonna, you know, like now I'm like, you know, the goal weight that I was trying to get to, it's like I'm trying to get back to where that was. You know, it's crazy. But
I can see what you're saying though. Like, for instance, you go on a vacation, a cruise to Mexico, and you're eating foods, or you're being mindful. You're not really depriving yourself. You're eating, and then you get back and you find out that you gained like 3 pounds, right? And you go internally. You could take it one of 2 ways. One of them is, oh Jesus, I just gained 3 pounds. Seriously, after that, or you could go, I could have gained 20 with the amount of food that I had in front of me, but do you take that as a small win? I think that's what she was asking. Can you use small gains?
I feel like the scale's different for everybody. For me,
it is. Any gain is usually pretty tough for me. It just is. It just is.
Yeah, when I see the scale go up, see, this goes back to what I was saying about taking the power away from the scale. Like, I don't allow the scale to do that to me anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm at a different place. You might not be.
Right.
You know, Amy may be in a different place than I'm at.
Right.
For me, the scale is just a tool.
Right.
One tool in the shed. You know, so it doesn't bother me as much. When I see a gain, like, I like to know what my body's doing daily.
Right.
So I see gains and loss.
Do you track it? Do you use like an app, or you write the stuff down or whatever?
No, I write. So for me, I go back to the old school ways of paper and a pen.
Yeah.
And that works for me. I like to write it down.
Yep.
I do use apps, but I just like to get a sense of what's going on. Like, how did this affect
where
I'm at? But I see gains and losses constantly. So it's not like that once a week scale thing where it's I put all my hope and effort and like I took off my watch and my glasses emptied my pockets, my keys are and I step on the scale and it's still up. I don't allow that to happen anymore.
Yeah, I see so many people doing that.
I don't allow it, but I was there for a long time.
Yep. I agree. I started taking your method though. I started to now, because I wasn't but once a week since we had that video cast. I every day have been weighing myself to be able to see what affects what, how my body responds to certain things too, right? Yeah. So I know for me, when I flew from Virginia back home. From the time I left Virginia to when I got back home in Maine, the next day I weighed myself, I was up 5 pounds.
Well, just the flight alone.
I know. Okay. But mental, I'm going 5 pounds. Are you kidding me? But then I took inventory in my head and went, oh, wait a second. I just got off a plane flight. I was all over the airports. I was everywhere. I really didn't stuff my face or whatever. It was literally like flying.
That's water retention.
Right. Yeah. And so the next day, I was down another 4, and I was like, okay, well, that evened out. But I could see how that 5 pounds messed with my head, dude. I was like, what's happening? Oh, I was in panic mode. But
so, I mean, give yourself grace. Right. So, it's the holidays. We talked about this on another episode where you and I both agreed that this time of year is easier for us. Yeah. Summertime, it's the barbecue, all that surprise food, all the here's a beer, here's a hot dog, here's a burger. It's every day, every week. Here, it's major holidays. Yep. It's okay. Enjoy. If you like a certain food that you only get once a year, why are you going to punish yourself and not have it? If it's something you really enjoy, just don't overdo it. Right. Or if you overdo it, that's it. End it. End of story. Holiday's over. Next day, right back to your normal routine. Right back to routine again. Here we go. Get right back to the routine. Right back to your consistent way of living. Right.
It's funny because we were having this conversation before this video cast tonight about grace. So we were talking about forgiveness for yourself, to be able to say it's okay. I'm human. I'm a normal person. Listen. A lot of times, my good memories in my life, whether it's with family, with friends, or whatever, always has food centered around it. Some sort of food. My whole family's all Lithuanian background, right? So they got potato dishes and they got all kinds of stuff. So my grandmother used to make these dishes, these stuffed cabbages and potato dishes, which is great. Much like you with Italian food, pastas and things like that or whatever. So for me, I was like, every time I even get near those things, we have these little cookies called osukis. Little they're fried dough, but they're just little ribbons and you put a little powdered sugar over the top.
Sounds wonderful.
They're pretty good, right? So, and the memories are my grandmother, my family, everybody together. So it's interesting how we can tie that back together. But why deprive myself and say I'm not going to have any of those if they're there just because now mind you, I'm not saying eat 75 of them. What I'm saying is enjoy the moment, be part of it. Now I know what you're saying. If you do eat 75 of them, still forgive yourself and move on the next day. Right. But enjoy the moment, embrace the moment. Yeah. Right. Those kind of things matter.
There are so many great memories that are connected to food. Right. And we're going to get into this even more. I mean, because there's something I want to talk about. Yeah. That I read online, but we'll finish the questions. But it's just amazing the connection that food has to emotion and memories. I mean, I made some donuts a couple of weeks ago with the Count Chocula. Yep. That brings me right back to being 8 years old. You know what I mean?
That's all I was thinking about when I was a kid.
It's amazing. But I didn't eat a whole box. Yep. Back in the day when I'd get the biggest bowl I had. Right. I'd fill it up. I'd finish it, I'd fill it up again.
Oh yeah, man. With the chocolate milk on the bottom too. It was great. Yeah. So really, John, that's really it, man. Outside of the fact of the last one was how to control your emotions with what the scale says, right? Because we just talked about it, running with the emotions. And I know Wesley had written some stuff about grace there that was on there about asking about how you give yourself grace or how you show yourself grace. Do you give yourself grace and forgive yourself, or do you make excuses for the things that you're trying to be able to do? And so for me, a lot of times we were just talking about it where I've been in the mode of sometimes going, well, the excuses or the reasoning why I do what I do might be I'm really stressed out. I just said it today when I got over here. I said, I got back from my family and I stuffed my face.
I don't think that's an excuse though.
No? No,
I think that's the reason. Okay. I would say an excuse would be like, well, I did this because so-and-so pushed it on me, or I did this because I don't know. I feel like you saying I feel like what you're saying is more of a reason than an excuse.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. That's a good point.
An excuse is like, someone else. It wasn't in my power.
Out of my control.
It was out of my control.
Gotcha.
You know,
Yep.
I don't know.
But I still felt the same way after both. So if I had made an excuse or a reasoning behind it, the feeling afterwards is still the most important piece, because what Wesley was saying is are you able to forgive yourself? Are you able to give yourself grace?
That's something that, like, I think you have to really...
That takes work.
Learn.
And it's a learned habit. It's not something that comes naturally.
I actually talk to myself.
Yeah, me too. I do.
I'll be like, what did you just do? Why did you do that? Come on. You know?
Yeah.
And I used to just be like, I hate myself.
Yeah.
And it was misery. Now it's like, all right, move on.
Right.
It's done.
Yep.
Move on. Smarten up, man. Move on.
Right.
Before it was just, that's it. The floodgates are open, man.
Right. Yeah. And here we go.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I was just sharing with John last night. I was watching something on Netflix, and it was a series right till the very end. It was like 1:30 in the morning, and mind you, I went to the fridge. It was a mindless moment. It was just a moment of me going to the fridge. I opened up the fridge, I pulled it out, and I had some shaved turkey there. And I went and said, okay, I'm gonna have a few slices of this. So I put it in my hand. I went over and sat down. And at 1:30 in the morning, I'm eating some shaved turkey. And I'm talking to myself, just like you said. I literally said to myself, what the hell are you doing, dude? Why are you eating shaved turkey at 1:30 in the morning? I'm going, what?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I felt guilty afterwards, although it was shaved turkey, and it wasn't all that. It was like 99% fat free. Mm-hmm. But it was still. I didn't need to be eating that thing. I wasn't really hungry. No. I just ate it. I dove into it.
Well, that goes to what I wanted to talk about next. Was I was on Instagram, and someone that I follow had posted about either something she read, I don't remember, or something she heard in a podcast, and it was about going back to factory settings, like reset to factory settings. And I was like, what's that all about? You know, so I'm reading, and it was like, when you were a kid, when you were a baby, you only ate when you were hungry.
Right.
When it was time to eat.
Yep. Because your body needed it.
Right. Only for fuel only.
Fuel.
How do you get back to those factory settings? I eat for about 5 million other reasons.
That's so true.
I eat because it's lunchtime. I might not even be hungry, but it's lunchtime, so I eat.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like you forget what it feels like to be hungry.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
It's so true.
And you eat for so many other reasons.
It's the other reasons why we do it.
Boredom, stress, comfort.
Yep.
I mean, I'm guilty of all these things. How can you restore yourself back to factory settings?
Oof.
How do you do that? How do you use food as fuel only?
That's tough. It's tough.
And is that sustainable? Is that something you can do?
Yeah, I don't know. I think as a baby, I mean, I know when you think about it, when you're a kid, you don't know any different.
Yeah.
Right? There's no baggage.
You're like a big baby.
I am a big baby. What are you talking about? I'm always like, come on, let's go. No, at the end of the day, when you're a baby, you're thinking to yourself, okay, food intake, boom, makes me feel okay, I'm good to go, I can feed off that or whatever. The problem with being an adult is we have so much baggage going on in our heads. There's so much stuff that we've gone through in our lives, whether it's past now or in the future, we let that get in the way. So I feel like a lot of it has to do with the fact that if we have to get our minds right to get to that place.
Yeah, how do you get there?
I don't know if it's ever even possible.
I have so many food is tied to so many other things.
Agreed.
More than just fuel.
Yeah.
If it was just for fuel, it would be so easy to
I know.
We wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Exactly.
This would be all about I don't know what sports.
Sports and Adidas and
fireworks. Let's talk about fireworks. I don't know, but here we are. We're talking about this issue because it's so relevant in so many people's lives. How do you remove that? How do you get back to those factory settings? That blew my mind.
Yeah, that is.
I was like, wow, that's deep. That's how do I do that? And it really resonated with me, and I don't know. I don't have an answer. But
I mean, you could try to start to implement small little things to be able to try to get yourself there. You know what's funny is my wife, she makes some foods that we have at the house, and she does it on purpose. She'll make some foods a little bit blander, a little bit less like with any fattening stuff, like really heavy on butters and things like that. She makes it on purpose, and when we sit to eat, I know it because we're sitting there eating. I'm going, it's not as good, right, as a meal, but it's. And she looks at me and she goes, "Food is fuel, my friend."
You know it's the rat poison she put in there.
Oh, what? Dude, that's what you were supposed to tell me about
buddy.
that.
Sorry, but that
Crystal, come on, seriously.
Sorry, but that life insurance plan. She's cashing in, baby.
Damn it. No, but she does that.
You're worth more dead.
I know, you're so right about that. So for her, when she makes that comment, when you just said food is fuel, right?
Yeah.
That's the way we used to treat it.
Yeah.
When she makes the comment, although it's kind of a joke in fashion of going food is fuel, she does it on purpose mentally for her to go, I'm not going to overstuff myself. I'm going to eat this enough that I know if I'm hungry. Now I'm full enough that I'm like, okay, I'm good to go. And I can walk away from it and go, I'm all set, instead of triples and seconds and thirds and fourths of it. Now we eat a helping enough that we're full. We feel like sustained and we're like, okay, good to go. I usually can walk away with one helping of food. It's interesting the way that might work. Not to say that that's the best practice for everybody, but that's something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess we'll figure it out one day.
One day we'll figure it out. But that was pretty deep thinking, and I think I'm gonna put some more thought into that, because
maybe we'll have the answers next time.
Ooh, maybe if you guys have answers for us.
Yeah, let us know.
If you got some answers around how do we get back to hitting the reset button and treating food as fuel and not the emotional baggage that goes with it, share it with us.
Let us
Comments on the Facebook, on the YouTube, on all of those would be great.
Yeah, and please share, like, subscribe if you're watching. Hit the subscribe button.
Yes.
Help us out.
Hit the subscribe, hit the little bell, so that way when we release the videos, you're going to be notified.
Yeah.
You can see us over there.
Yeah, you'll know that we took a week off, even though I don't know anyone knew.
Right. Did you guys know?
I don't even know.
Did you know?
No one knew. Nobody cares.
Did you know? I don't even know.
I don't know. Well, I don't even know what today is. Here we are.
Oh, it's Halloween is what it is. So,
by the way, how awesome is this prop that I made?
You made this?
This is a real axe handle.
Okay, it looks like actual blood on there. That's pretty awesome. It's an actual axe handle.
With a foam head.
Oh, see, you can go boop, just like that, man. That's pretty awesome. I love
Give
this.
me my hot pot.
I know. Look at that. Make it nice.
Like my baba.
All right, man. Well, listen, have a great Halloween, everybody. Happy Halloween, and enjoy yourself, and we'll see you next week, right?
Unless Shane takes another vacation.
Right, if I take another vacation, maybe we'll do something over the air. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on. All right, guys, we'll see you later.
See ya.